Check, check, mic check. And we welcome you in to Emporia Middle School for Emporia FC Soccer here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. Tegan Terhune, the play-by-play voice of Emporia FC, here with you on this cloudy evening in Emporia, Kansas. The wind, as you might be able to see, blowing just a little bit out of the south into the north, could make for an interesting game here, just like the last few contests that we've seen for Emporia FC, both here in the UPSL and also in the league for clubs. The task at hand for tonight will be Fountain KC coming into Emporia here as Emporia FC again, sitting right near the top of the table of the UPSL, looking to get another spot in the playoffs, returning back there after their first jaunt into the playoffs last season. We'll see if they can make it back here. Of course, Fountain City Athletic is not going to be an easy task. Neither is anybody in the UPSL. And of course, this is just one of the four home games Emporia FC is going to be having here over the next 10 days. Of course, the first one was in the League for Clubs on Sunday. Now back to action just 4 days later here are the Black Lions. We'll see if the 4-day rest may give them a little bit more of a boost, as they certainly look pretty strong going out there on Sunday night, despite only having a day's rest. We'll see what 4 days can do for these individuals in the Black Lions badge. We're going to go ahead and jump into our starting lineups for both squads here on our pregame coverage. Again, Tegan Terhune here with you on game day from Emporia FC's home at Emporia Middle School. Starting off with Fountain City Athletic. They will be sending out Miguel Casaquino at forward. At midfield, Caleb Fannin. Midfield, Calvin Noost. At forward, Albert Kema. On defense, Richard Lopata III. At midfield, also Calvin Osai. At defense, John Osongo. Nico Rivera also on defense for Fountain. Midfield, Franklin Robinson, and at forward, Alessandro Rubio. In between the pipes for Fountain City Athletic will be Harrison Ennis. For your Emporia FC Black Lions, the starting 11 look like this. At forward, Fabricio Kaspersky. At midfield, Kosuke Fukadomi. Defender, Vittorio Balesi. Defender, Henry Gonzalez. Forward, Kanata Takahashi. Midfield, Fabian Arroyo. At defense, Patrick Aludor and Yushin Nakano. Midfield, Jeremy Cabanis. Midfield, Bernardo Hanel. And in goal between the pipes for your Black Lions this evening, the man from Colombia, David Ferraro. Of course, for any of you that have been tuning into Emporia FC for their long history, Ferraro was one of the starters for Emporia FC last season, compiled quite the list of clean sheets in his outings there, backing up alongside with Luan Nascimento. So we'll see if Ferraro still has that magic, as he'll have his first home start of this season here today. Of course, he is following in the shoes of Pedro Big Save Silva, who has kept Emporia FC alive multiple times here throughout the season. But David, maybe a bit smaller than Mr. Silva, but let me tell you right now, he is lightning fast and very, very skillful in that net. So it'll be interesting to see what he'll bring in terms of a little extra boost of momentum for his squad. Getting close to kickoff time, just about 2.5 minutes away. We're going to step aside for just a moment. They'll do the national anthem, have the player introductions on the field, and we will be set for kickoff. Again, you are tuning in to Emporia FC Soccer right here on the Emporia FC official YouTube channel. Stick around, kickoff coming up next. Oh no! I know he reads them. I know. I just never. I did last year, and I would send. I was like, all right. Oh, As the PA voice of Emporia FC, Gabe Diaz-Serrano gets the crowd fired up here at Emporia Middle School. We are back and just about set for kickoff for this matchup between the Emporia FC Black Lions and Fountain KC here from the Lions Den in Emporia. And I am happy to say, Tegan Terhune here with you, now joined by my good friend and broadcast partner, Mr. Corey Mitchell. Corey, good to have you back on the headset.
Hey man, thanks for having me back, and I'm ready to get back in the groove and roll. And I hope we see a dandy tonight. Kind of important based on standings, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. Of course, Emporia FC at one point was standing third in the standings, still near the top of the table right now in fifth place. Top 6 teams will go to the playoffs, so they're still in a decent position, but it's on the bubble here still because a loss could set them back. And of course, they need this win, I think, not just for the standings, as they are just one behind Fountain KC, who are currently fourth in the standings, but they're on a 2-game losing streak too.
Yeah, that's the first thing is the most important thing. What you said is they still control their own destiny, right? They can win if they win games. They're going to be fine. They're going to be great. And it is. But let's scrap those last 2 games. Let's get back to moving forward. Push ahead, strong. Finish strong. Get the W. Get out of here tonight with a win.
Well, now I do have to throw this out there. The last 2 losses, while obviously no loss is fun, they were both clean sheets for the opposing side. That's got to hurt an offense's confidence a little bit. But then again, a lot of these guys split in time between the League for Clubs and UPSL, and it didn't seem like it really hurt them when it came to League for Clubs action.
Yeah, and I think that's really the thing is they get their time, they get to play, and that's what matters, and they're going to grow because of that. So
you're absolutely correct. As we are underway here in the Lions Den, Fountain KC with it to start things off. A little bit of a back and forth now in terms of possessions as Emporia FC wins it back, pushing it back here now towards their own side of the field. Henry Gonzalez will send it up. My apologies. Nyusha Nakano. Nakano goes up to the top to Bernardo Hanel. Hanel, of course, had a goal, the opening goal in Emporia FC's League for Clubs outing against Tulsa Athletic on Sunday. And of course, Bernardo, one of those guys who is not afraid to mix it up a little bit, get right in the middle of the action as a long ball sent down the way, trying to be tracked down by Kanata Takahashi, who had the other goal for Emporia FC on Sunday night, easily scooped up by the goalkeeper, Harrison Ennis.
I like that when they push it over the top, though. They connect on 1 or 2 of those, it gets real exciting real quick for them.
You're absolutely right. Long ball sent back the other way by Ennis, headed away by Emporia FC, touched by Fountain, and now Fountain kind of recollecting themselves. Ball sent back to Ennis, going to regroup, but he's not going to have a lot of time as he's pressured immediately by Kaspersky. Ball will go out of play. Last touch by Emporia FC, who are trying to set something up in the box, and it'll be a goal kick, more of a goal roll there for Ennis. Looks like he's just going to play a little back and forth here with his defenders for a moment, then send it up the way. Nakano heads it back again off the toe.
Ooh,
wow. Of Kaspersky with a almost goal from about 22 yards out, and that caught me off guard a little bit. I can't imagine how Ennis must have felt.
The goalie was standing flat-footed. That was a great ball, just a little wide, but that was only, we're talking inches away.
That was just a soft touch. It was basically a 2-touch shot. Again, I want to repeat myself, from about 21 yards out. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Maybe that's exactly what Fabricio was anticipating, was catching him off guard.
Well, it would have been quite a way to start this thing only 3-4 minutes into the game, I'll tell you what.
Well, right now, Fountain trying to answer back with an opportunity of their own as we get a man tripped up. The man in the middle there for Emporia FC of the scrum was Fabio Arroyo. And the head official having a conversation.
Definitely not broken the way he's shaking his hand.
No. Nicely done. As Emporia FC again had the first real strike, or at least opportunity, I should say, here off that 21-yard attempt by Kaspersky that nearly went in just a few moments ago. Now we'll have a free kick opportunity for Fountain from just about 14 yards out.
Dangerous spot here.
4-man wall set up just off to the right side of the goal. David Ferraro from Emporia FC hugging that post. If the wind plays a factor, as it started to shift a little bit to the, should say the west, will directionally challenge. My apologies. Long ball goes over the top, up through the uprights of the American football goalpost, but no good there. So a goal kick coming from Emporia FC as the first opportunity for both teams leads to nothing but a goal kick. Nakano will try and push it up the way on the long ball to Kaspersky. It's intercepted by FCA and will easily be handled, or I should say, footled. I'm making words up now, by Ferraro as we are 3 minutes, 45 seconds into this contest. Ball goes up to midfield, handled by Takahashi, who gets tripped up. And a good job by Takahashi there, Corey, to get in front of the body and generate the contact.
That's right. And then a quick restart has kind of pushed it forward, which I like to see. Then back out a little, but I like to see when they push it like that.
Well, Patrick Alador was the intended recipient of the long ball from right to left from Takahashi, but that was just a little too long, too high, and he will not be able to do anything with it.
They push fast, good things happen for them.
My apologies. Fukudomi was the one with the long ball attempt. Throw in there for FCA. He's got a man, has the ball, does Alessandro Rubio. Rubio's going to switch it right to left in the box. Good defense here shown by Emporia FC, staying right in front of it, not letting them get any cheap kicks out of it. Good passing, though, by FCA. Shot on goal, right past David Ferraro. And just like that, Fountain is up 1-0 over Emporia FC. And give David Ferraro some credit. He tried to make the save, but he was about a half step behind that shot, almost screened by his own men.
I think that's kind of what happened because Emporia was playing some really good D right there. They really looked like they had him kind of contained, and all of a sudden just kind of broke free.
Alessandro Rubio will open the scoring in the 4th minute of play here. And, well, already Emporia FC is playing behind a little bit. And, well, Corey, I got to ask, I mean, obviously, there is a ton of time left in this game. I mean, shoot, there's a ton of time left in the first half. But 4 minutes in and you let one in like that, that's got to be a little deflating.
It does, but what we need to see is that push. We saw that in the first 2 minutes, Emporia really pushed the ball into their zone and trying to score, try to put something on net. We need to see that now.
Emporia moving it around again on their own side of the field. Henry Gonzalez tried to switch it over to the right side. It's intercepted by FCA. They've got a breakaway on the goal, and Yushin Nakano gets in there to kick it away. So a corner kick coming for Fountain, but the good news is Emporia managed to stave off another one-on-one situation between Ferraro and Fountain.
Emporia can't turn the ball over in that zone like that. That can't happen. That's just a mental mistake. It's got to be cleaner than that.
Very uncharacteristic.
It is, really is.
Here we go. Corner coming from Fountain. Ball sent in to the left side of the box, headed away and way too high by FCA, and that will mean a corner here for Emporia. No.
Good D by Emporia to get a second head on that to get it over the net.
You're right.
Yeah.
I missed that. I thought that it was headed away by Fountain, so I thought it was going to be a goal kick. My apologies for the calling of the corner, but it will be a corner here for Fountain. Ball sent in. That one sent directly to Emporia FC. Little toe tap away. Hanal has a beat on it there as Patrick Aldor is trying to fight for it, but it's easily taken away by Fountain. Emporia now trying to take it back, and it looks like Fountain coming out with a little bit more speed and ferocity to start things off here against the Black Lions. Over 7 minutes now gone in the first half as Nakano wanted an offside call as the ball finds the toe of Fountain, and it'll be forced out of play.
Emporia's got to break this little trend of where Fountain's putting the pressure on in their half. They got to break this.
1-0 is the score. FCA over Emporia FC. Throw in.
Stuff like that can't happen. That's little heads that go in the middle, in the center like that's bad news.
Goes off the head of Alessandro Rubio, then heads back towards midfield before we get a stoppage in play. It'll be a foul against FCA. So, opportunity here for Emporia FC to maybe try and reset a little bit, open up the midfield, and try and get through it because they really haven't been able to get through it cleanly for the last 5 minutes, aside from that 21-yard shot off the long ball by Kaspersky that missed by just mere inches in the first 2 minutes. Little bit of a scuffle there at midfield. Referee will blow the whistle. It will go against Emporia FC. as it looked like just a little bit too much body on it trying to fight for possession.
Need to get the ball back on the Emporia's foot, and they need to start pushing.
Kelvin Osei had the free kick. Now onto the toes of Nico Rivera. Rivera heading back towards midfield. Reverse right there. Sends it over to the right side to Albert Kema, and another stoppage here, this time in favor of Emporia FC as it goes out. Throw in by Patrick Alador, goes into the back to Nakano. He'll send it to Ferraro, who's immediately being challenged. Splits the defense, or I should say the potential offense. And right there, Bernardo Hanel was trying to send a soft touch over to Patrick Alador, who can't handle it. Another throw in here for FCA, easily taken away there by Emporia's Henry Gonzalez.
Like that little 1-2 they tried to do. It didn't work. It was a little heavy. Actually, it was pretty good defense, but that's the kind of stuff that's going to get Emporia moving ahead right there.
You're
like
absolutely
this.
right.
They took a shot at it right there. Good D, but took a shot at it.
Well, and I know that you're a big fan of the long balls because you know it can open up opportunities, but so far, barring that one long ball in the first 2 minutes, Emporia hasn't really been able to get much going that way.
That's right.
Well, I spoke too soon as they do get an opportunity, but just a half step behind was Kaspersky as it's kicked out of play once again by Fountain, who again are leading Emporia FC 1-0 as we approach the 10-minute mark of the first half. Another little near collision there between Fabian Arroyo and a Fountain player. And Fountain will resume possession. Currently on the foot of Albert Kenna. He goes to Osei. Little slide to avoid the tackle, and then it gets bodied to the ground. No foul will be called there. That one could have gone against Fabricio Kaspersky. We get another
nice
body
tackle.
down.
That's good football right there. Look up. Look up.
Across midfield comes Emporia FC. Bernardo Hanel sends the long ball in to Takahashi. Takahashi on the left side. He's got an opportunity. Puts it just off the toe of Ennis. And give Ennis some credit. He just slid out there, made the play with the very tippy top of his toe. But what a great opportunity for Emporia FC, their second chance on goal in this contest. Again, they need every opportunity they can get, trailing things 1-0 here in the early going.
Boy, that was a great setup, great ball to get that whole thing started, and even the little cross was pretty good. Goalie made a great play. I mean, that's that simple.
Corner kick comes for Emporia FC, goes to the left side. Hanel tried to settle it in, and it's immediately taken away by Fountain, but they'll turn it back over as it goes out of play off the top of the forehead of Alessandro Rubio, who has the lone goal in the contest. Rubio wearing the captain's armband for Fountain. Patrick Alador going to try a little chip shot left to right, and there's just no one there, as you heard from Corey Mitchell.
Just black jerseys everywhere. Good ball in the center, nobody there.
A bit of a rushed attempt it appeared to be, as Emporia not really needing to put on the Jets just yet, but it seems like they're starting to hurry a little bit and not fully let the play develop. Cano and Arroyo trade passes. It goes to Alador now, left corner. He turns on the Jets. A little bit of a bump and shove there with Nico Rivera. Sends it towards the goal and easily handled there by Ennis.
Emporia, they've had good moments, right? And in some spots, their defense have good moments. They seem like they're just a one notch off of being really dialed in, but it just got to sync it up a little bit. They seem close, though. You see real moments of it.
Will head away the long ball from Ennis, and now Emporia FC settling at midfield, just trying to get something moving here. Pushing it up towards Hanel. Hanel will send it back the opposite direction. Then sent right into the Emporia FC bench by one Fabi Arroyo. I talked to Fabi yesterday. I saw him at the always delicious Tacos Ibarra for lunch and talked to him a little bit and just kind of asked how they were feeling about this game. And he said, got to have a little bit more rest. We got to have a little bit more time to recollect ourselves as opposed to the back-to-back games on Saturday and Sunday. So he feels like they're ready to come. But, I think as we saw, if you watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, Carolina Hurricanes came into the conference championship game undefeated, had 2 weeks of rest off, and a lot of people argue that's why they lost their first game. Sometimes a little more rest can be a good thing, but also be a bad thing. You can kind of drop the adrenaline a little bit, and maybe that's what's happening here with Emporia FC. They're trying to get back into the rhythm they were in on Sunday. Granted, it's not the full same squad that we saw, but maybe just trying to kind of get those juices flowing again. It's just taking them a little bit longer, Corey.
That's right. And it's interesting because they've come off the 2 losses, and so maybe they did need something a little different, right? Having that little rest made them rethink, calibrate, a little extra practice, look at things a little differently. Just try some things, and
Sure.
and maybe that's what he was kind of referring to in that conversation you had with him.
Absolutely.
I know the tacos were great, weren't they?
They were fantastic. Takahashi had the shot
tie
on goal!
game just that quick.
Goes right past Ennis on the breakaway. Kanata Takahashi with the equalizer in the 13th minute. The dying seconds of the 13th minute of play. Takahashi finds pay dirt.
So quick. It can be so when they go fast, good things happen. That was a fabulous little setup. That was a great ball to him, and just one touch, boom.
Well, we talked about it. It seemed like they were a little sluggish to start, but now that they have that goal, that could be a huge momentum boost for Emporia FC, as it just seemed like everything they were trying on the attacking side wasn't working. Maybe they need to go back to that long ball a little bit, just let them reset. They pushed it right to the back side of the field in their own zone, slowly moved it up, as Corey was saying earlier, and I mean, really, it paid off in dividends.
Yeah, just found that little seam, got the ball through there quick. When they move quick, I mean, you just see a lot of good things happen when they move quick.
You're absolutely
Even if
right.
they just control the ball, good things happen.
Well, and it seemed like Fountain was coming out the faster team to start things off, but we've talked about this before. You can be the faster team in the first 10 minutes, but can you be the faster team for the entire 90-plus minutes?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see who can keep the cardio up. I've happened to see Emporia FC's cardio regime, and I'll tell you, or regimen, I should say. I'll tell you right now, I'll put my money on the Black Lions so we get an offside whistle off the long ball and a little conversation between players after a little bit of a collision there between Vittorio Valesi and the Fountain left winger. On the attack, there was Caleb Fannin, the midfielder for Fountain. As Valesi, slow approach here, not being pressured just yet, switches the field right to left, goes to Alador, who, again, just a little too short to come up with the header.
We've seen that now twice it go over his head, and I think that east wind that you referenced earlier is actually pushing that ball more than the players realize.
Absolutely right. As it started as pretty much directly a crosswind from south to north, and now it's started to switch positions going from the west to the east. Or I should say east to west. Again, I'm directionally challenged, man. I work in I work in the media industry. You don't have to know directions.
Here we go. This is what we want to see now. Give it up. Oh.
Bernardo Hanel was trying to push it up across the back line, and he had wingers on the left and right, not to mention a backup and Alador right behind him, but he just banged it off a shin, taken back here by Fountain, who were leading for the first 10 minutes of the contest, but Emporia FC strikes back with quick ferocity, and they're looking to capitalize on the momentum that they've wrestled away from the boys from Kansas City. 16 minutes, 49 seconds gone now in the contest as Nakano will get, or my apologies, Fukudomi will get tripped up. No whistle. Arroyo has it. And again, beautiful ball. There's nobody there.
Yeah, wrong jersey, but again, trying to get that stuff going forward. They had a little shot there, 4-on-3, good defense by Fountain. See more of that. They push. I just like it when they push. You just see good things.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the great attendance we have here on this Wednesday evening. Of course, it is Unbound Gravel Week here in Emporia, Kansas, and I think that might be bringing a few new faces out to the Lions Den, so we appreciate you. But one familiar face out there, we have the beautiful president of Flint Hills Technical College, Karen Darty, in the crowd. You know her, right?
I do. I've met her a time.
Met her a couple times.
Yeah, nice gal.
She's a great lady. Takahashi will send it back over to the middle of the field as he was trying to streak down that left side. He just couldn't really find an opening. Gets worked back to Nakano. Nakano now goes to Arroyo, who's being pressured pretty heavily. And it seems like, I'll give Fountain some credit, they're picking their spots where they're being more aggressive, sometimes backing off on those short passes, but other times when Emporia is just starting to settle in, they kind of creep up and then start to put on the jets and come towards them.
Yeah, you really are right on that. Hagan, because they have really sucked it down and packed in that defense ever since this score went 1-1. You can really see how they pushed back and kind of set back.
Ball on the foot of Takahashi. He pushes it up the way to
Oh,
Kaspersky. Now drop back and just wide with a shot was Takahashi. That was a beautiful move, though. Great textbook passing play. You push it up a man at a time, and then Kaspersky drops it back for Takahashi, who streaked from the right side of the field all the way to the center to take that bullet of a shot. But again, I think the wind just playing a little bit of a factor there, Corey.
yeah, he hit it square, but he was just a little offline on that. Maybe it was a little wind involved, but it was a good everything. That's a good setup in what they did to set up that opportunity and that shot.
Well, we've always said, I always have to bring up my hockey roots here whenever we're on a program, and especially with a player down for Fountain, we have a moment. One of my coaches always said, hey, you can shoot the puck all you want, but if you can't get it up across ice and pass it cleanly, you're not going to get an opportunity to shoot unless you want to shoot from blue line to blue line, and you're more than welcome to do it, but we're not going to win that way. That right there just demonstrated how important clean, crisp, and strategic passing really is to setting up an opportunity.
That's right. And no extra touches, right? It was a pass here, a touch here, move it on, get it on, and even the shot, I wonder if it's humidity's high tonight. It's not super hot, but the humidity's high tonight. I wonder if these guys it seems a little early, but maybe they're cramping up a little bit out there.
You're running for 19 plus minutes straight, heading into the 20th minute of this first half. I'll tell you right now, it's going to cause some things to tighten up a little bit. I know if I ran for 20 seconds, I'm tightening up. Dude, I'm tightening up just standing up here. Of course, I'm not in shape, so going to get a substitution. So it may not just be a cramp, or it could be, but nonetheless, that will being a change in personnel here.
We have the goal kick from the missed shot is where the restart will be on this.
Emporia FC will likely be trying to crowd that midfield, as Fountain really hasn't done much in terms of short passes. They've kind of gone for the long balls, but that might change here as, nope, back line starting to push up a little bit here. Again, the goalkeeper for Fountain City Athletic, Harrison Ennis, telling all of his guys, go ahead and just take a step back. He's going to let this one go as I anticipated. Right towards midfield. This time, Alador comes up with the header. It's pushed back by FCA. Alador will send it up, and Ennis, I'll give credit where it's due. Ennis almost made a huge mistake. He came out of the box and was about to field it with his hands. He looked down and saw where he was and immediately changed it, headed it away. So give the credit, as I said, where it's due. Ennis, smart heads-up play there. That's just field awareness.
Yeah, and he was being really aggressive coming out as far as he did, but I think he made the right decision in pretty much everything that he did right there. And now they have a free kick because of it.
Foul leads to the free kick. I think a couple heads get on it on that one, both in a different jersey. Now, Fountain City on the left side of the box, trying to maneuver around Emporia FC. It goes off of a shoulder and back towards midfield. Fountain City again, I think, just trying to reset themselves. We're trying to get out of there. Emporia FC saying, no, come on back. Let's talk about this. And it goes out of play. It'll be a throw in here for the Black Lions.
But the Emporia's defense really packed in the middle there in the box when they got down in when Fountain City got down into that corner. They really didn't leave any opportunity.
No, they did not. We have eclipsed the 22nd minute of play. 1-1, the score for Emporia FC. Of course, Fountain City opened the scoring in the 4th minute, the dying moments of the 4th minute, with a goal by Alessandro Rubio. Emporia FC would answer back about 9 minutes later in the 13th minute with a goal by the speed demon, Kanata Takahashi.
He's offside. Has to be off.
I think you will be correct, or no. We've got a man down on the opposite side of the field. I thought you were calling it perfectly correct there, Corey, as I also was expecting a flag to go up, but it never did. We've got a man down on the Fountain City side in a Fountain City jersey. I'm curious.
Kind of away from the ball.
Yeah. I didn't see the action. I was watching the ball coming down the other way. Not sure if there was a collision. The official's only talking to Fountain City at this moment. Again, Corey had mentioned it. It's not a hot night. It's actually relatively cool for the end of May with a nice breeze, but the humidity level can play a factor in cramping up, and he does look to be gesturing towards his right leg. Going to see if we get another early substitution for Fountain City. Oh, yeah. Trying to see the number, but I believe that's Kelvin Osai, and it is, as, man, he's struggling to walk on that right leg. I don't know if maybe he just banged shins or something's tightening up, but he looks to be in a lot of pain, but I think he's going to try and gut it out. He's limping pretty heavily. I'll tell you right now, I've seen enough soccer matches, I've seen enough wrestling matches, and I've seen enough football games in my life to know when somebody's faking a limp and when somebody's limping for real. I'm going to tell you right now, he's limping for real. And now he's gesturing down towards the right ankle, trying to put some pressure on it. Looks like whatever it may have been, he's starting to work it out here. As I continuously keep trying to strangle Corey with my headphone cords, I do apologize for that. After you did the honor of coming back up here with me.
Like, Emporia's just going to kick it away, clear it out, kind of do a reset.
Yep, David Ferraro will send it clear across the opposite side of the field. Touches the toe of Kaspersky. Kaspersky, great ball. Up to the right wing to Takahashi. Takahashi, little chip pass.
There it is.
Goes to Alador. Alador on the right side.
There
Shoots, scores! With love from Turks and Caicos, it's Patrick Alador!
That was a very similar to the first goal in how it set up and how it went, but Altidore ended up wide open with the ball, settled it. He kept that ball low, put it in the corner. No chance for any goalkeeper to stop that ball. That's been a great 10 minutes right now. Been a great last 10 minutes for Emporia.
24th minute, Emporia FC goes up 2-1 over Fountain City off a great shot by Patrick Alador that was set up by Kanata Takahashi and Fabricio Kaspersky. And you could almost call that a score out of a broken play, because I think the original draw up there was for Kanata to take that shot. He did. Went a little wide, or I think he was looking for the shot. He decided to pass it over as he didn't have a clean look. Goes right over to Alador, heads it, kicks it, scores it.
That's right. Now, let's see him drive right now. You saw, right, as Fountain City had the ball, 3 defenders got around it. Emporia got it back. Now they have it down in their zone here. Let's see if they can keep this little 10-minute roll they've been on going a little
Alador,
longer.
A little pushing and shoving between him and Albert Kema. And we're going to get a free kick here for Fountain City, as Patrick was kind of pleading his case there a little bit. But, well, if you've been watching Emporia FC for any amount of time, you know Patrick, he is an aggressive player, and sometimes that can get the better of him.
I don't know. It did have when they get in that corner, a lot of times the guy will just flop on the ball like that without much contact.
Fair enough. Ennis will send it from off the right side of the box into midfield. It's headed by both teams. Now sent back the other way towards Fountain FC's goal. Been struck twice now by Emporia FC in the last 12 minutes. FC at midfield. Nakano.
There it is.
Another ball inside. Bangs off one shin. Gets stopped by the other in the Fountain City jerseys, excuse me. Goes back up to midfield.
Oh.
And again, Emporia able to get it back, but not able to hold it for long as they kind of keep turning it over there, looking, I think, for another long ball pass.
I think they see something on that field right now in those seams in the middle of the field, and they're really trying to exploit that. And it's a lot of one-touch stuff or even longer balls with a little pace on them, on the low to the ground passes.
Well, slide tackle from way behind by Fountain City. I believe that was Caleb Fannin. Man, he's lucky that was just a free kick opportunity because that was so far behind the ball. Emporia FC again taking their time, pushing the ball up across midfield, just passing it around there on their own end a little bit, as Hanel now has it into a side-by-side foot
There you
race between
go.
himself and Kelvin Osai. And Osai gets Emporia the free kick. Shot by Takahashi. Goes up and over. But Takahashi, with his third bullet of the game, one of those has found the back of the net. The other two just make you thankful you weren't standing right in front of it.
Boy, he blasted the fire out of that thing.
That's what he's known for. He's a speed demon, but we should also probably check his legs, make sure they're not automatic rifles, because, man, they can fire bullets. Emporia FC regains it right near midfield. Nakano, good job to block off the defenders with his own body. Arroyo trying to switch it from left to right side. It's immediately intercepted by Fountain City. Now streaking down the left wing is Caleb Fannin. Fannin shot on goal. Nice toe save by David Ferraro.
What a great save he made right there. Point blank on the ground. Just a gem of a save.
Well, and I think David also changed course a little bit there, because I think he was preparing to dive for it over on his left side, and instead he just dropped to his butt and put the toe out, stopped it cold.
Yeah, great. It was a fabulous save.
Fountain City sends it back towards Ferraro, and he's not in any hurry. Put it back into play. He's going to make somebody challenge him. Sends it to the right side. Fountain City again, intercepting it right near midfield. They have a shot on goal. Another save by David Ferraro, and he's not going to pick this up just yet. Instead, he's going to give it over to his left side to Nakano. Nakano back to Ferraro. Oh,
wow.
Arroyo got tripped up, trying to push up towards midfield. Now Osei, shot on goal. Saved again by Ferraro, and that is 3 saves in the span of 90 seconds.
Emporia needs to change something up right here. They need to get the ball out of this zone and away. That's too many opportunities for Fountain City in the last, like you said, 30 seconds. That's way too many shots. Way too many.
Half an hour now gone in this contest. Emporia FC leading it 2-1 over Fountain City. And it could have easily been 2-2 if it hadn't been for David Ferraro making 3 tremendous saves in 90 seconds. Throw in there for Patrick Alador as the ball goes out. It goes to Takahashi. Nice reverse pass onto the foot of Kaspersky. Kaspersky to Alador, who sends it to the moon.
Yep.
We'll see it next week, as that will be a throw-in for Fountain City. The good news is it's deep in their own side of the field, so they're going to have to do some work to get it out cleanly where they try to throw it here. They go right towards midfield. Emporia FC streaking in to smack it away again. Arroyo sends it back towards the Fountain City goal. Shoved down from behind is the Black Lion striker. And some words exchanged afterwards, and there's no whistle.
A lot of contact in the box right there.
That was a clear-cut check from behind. I'm sorry, sir, but Mr. Official, that's textbook. I don't know how you possibly missed that. That should be a penalty shot at the very least. Emporia FC not going to stay hung up on it, as immediately they get it back at midfield. A little bit of a pass. And now they start to push it up again. Hanel, he's got Alador to his left, sends it to him. Alador going to try and show some fancy footwork. He jukes one man, but the ball goes too far in front of him, and it gets sent back towards Emporia FC's goal. Another collision. This one perpetrated by Caleb Fannin. We're going to just say it was a little bit of contact for the play on the ball. David Ferraro gets caught out of position. He needs to get back, as
right now
Fountain City had an opportunity. They had 2 men in the box. They could have sent it in, and there was nobody back to stop a shot, as Ferraro, I don't think, was expecting Fountain City to come up and challenge him that quickly. Hanel has it, streaking up the middle, leaves it for Alador. Alador, left side of the box, tried a shot, but Ennis comes in and stops the momentum, so Ennis putting his body on the line as he got right in the trajectory of Alador's swooping foot. And I will say this, the man in pink over there is a lot braver than me. I wouldn't want to stand in front of Patrick if he was just stretching wide, let alone when he's trying to strike a ball right past you. That could lead to a quick trip to the dentist.
They worked that seam again, and they gave him another good opportunity. Not a shot on goal, but good opportunity
Got it into the
that box. That's exactly right.
33 and a half minutes now gone in the first half. Emporia FC still up 2-0. Another body gets laid to the floor. No whistle again against Fountain City. Now, Fountain City on the attack, but it's a one-on-3 situation. Now, Fannin comes off to the right side. Trying the long shot there, and right past Ferraro. Yet again, Alessandro Rubio with the equalizer. The captain for Fountain City draws his squad even as Ferraro tried to make the save, but unfortunately just couldn't stretch long enough.
Ball was really blasted. He came from the back, from down the field, kind of fell in behind where all the defense was, and got himself a good look.
Emporia FC has 2 goals, one from Kanata Takahashi, the other from Patrick Alador. Takahashi in the 13th minute to tie up the game. Alador to take the lead in the 24th. And both goals for Fountain City now have come from the man wearing the captain's armband, and Alessandro Rubio, the first and the 4th minute of play, now in the 33rd minute, to again draw us even. Second tie of the contest thus far, as we are approaching the 10-minute mark remaining in the first half. Been a fast and furious 35 minutes thus far. We'll see how the final 10 of this first half shape up. Emporia FC again trying to go down the seam on the right side of the field. Going to the middle, Hanel gets the ball. There's nobody around him. Sends it left side to Alador. Alador, chip pass, goes off the head of a defender in a Fountain City jersey. And they're going to start trying to push it up. Intercepted by Emporia FC at midfield. Hanel skips it. It's sent right back to him. And now a slide tackle takes it away. Shot on goal is just wide to the left by Kaspersky.
There were some good passes in there. Just never really went anywhere. It kind of just kept the ball, controlled it a little bit.
Apologies, Vittorio Bellesi with the shot on goal there for Emporia FC just a moment ago. Really hard to try and keep numbers straight when you're dyslexic. I wish that was a joke. Welcome to my world, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a goal kick here for Fountain City, and once again, they favor the long ball to midfield. Nice header there by Nakano, jumping right over the top of Kema. Short passes again here for Emporia. Kaspersky had it off the chest. Now he's in a foot race, trying to regain possession. Challenge there from Arroyo, and that's the play that we blow the whistle on. Interesting. Arroyo just stepped up, trying to stop the ball, and it leads to a free kick for Fountain City. Meanwhile, multiple Emporia players have been bodied to the floor, one in the box on a scoring opportunity, and play continued. I'll let you draw your own conclusions there, and I won't bring it up again until the next time it happens. 37 minutes now gone here in the first half. David Ferraro coming out of goal. Sends it to Nakano. Nakano got barely a touch on it. Alador coming in to back him up. It's a 1-on-2 between them and Caleb Fannin. My apologies, that was Alessandro Rubio. Whoever thought that white horizontal lines and white numbers made a good match on those jerseys needs to come have a conversation with me.
Tough. It is a tough read. Emporia, when they try to do these short passes down deep in their zone, they seems like Fountain City has found something on their side, and they're really pushing it. You see waves of their players starting to come forward, and they're getting looks. Emporia needs to get it out of this zone, clear it out, and do what they do and start pushing.
Play yet to resume. as Ferraro.
What did he get booked?
I think someone just got booked. It looks like the booking did not occur on the field. That's why we didn't see it. I believe it was against the Fountain City coach, is what I'm being told. We'll try and get to the bottom of that in the halftime break. But yeah, it looks like it was a card for the bench for Fountain City, so they must have said something the official didn't care for. Into the 38th minute of play, approaching the 37th of the first of two 45-minute halves. How much added time we will have, as there really hasn't been a lot of stoppages in play, aside from a few knockdowns here and there. Being told it was the backup keeper actually on the bench for Fountain City that got the yellow card. So yeah, that was probably had some choice words, and that was a poor choice apparently. Pushing and shoving there at midfield. Emporia regains possession. It's on the foot of Hanel. Hanel, long ball, up the left side. Alador looking for a second. Tried to skip it to the opposite side. He's still got the ball. It goes to Kaspersky, who fires, and a diving save made by Ennis. Good passing there again by Emporia FC. Alador had a clean look. He made the extra pass. He goes to Kaspersky, and Kaspersky just fired it right at him. Not much you can do there, but good passing again by Emporia FC in the box, Corey.
And more importantly, a shot on goal. That move that Altidore did down in the corner to stop the ball, put the defender on the ground, and then get the good pass in, pretty remarkable.
Kema on the right wing now. Skips it left side. He's a little bit too far ahead of his left winger, and it'll go out of play. Last touch by the Emporia FC defense. So it'll be a throw in here for Fountain City. Fountain City. Slow approach here off the left side of the box. And again, stepping up, getting in the way of it there is Emporia FC. I believe that was the Frenchman, Jeremy Cabanis. As we have 5 minutes to go in regulation of this first half. See how much added time we will have. Again, we've had a few stoppages here and there, but nothing substantial. So would anticipate probably 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, probably about 3.
Of course, if you tuned into the League for Clubs stream on Sunday, we had 11 minutes of added time in the second half. There was a lot of stoppages in that one. Kema gets the pass for Fountain City and gets bodied down by Nakano for Emporia. So free kick on their own side of the field for Fountain City, and it doesn't look like they're going to try and go yard on it. But I could be wrong, as now players starting to shift a little bit, and they will. Sending it down towards the Emporia goal.
Too easy. Nobody trying to get that ball from Fountain City to get possession of that on the long kick.
Seems like they're almost afraid that every time that long ball comes in, they're going to get whistled for offside, so they're taking long to approach it.
Got it now. Got about 3 minutes of regulation left in this first half.
Throw in coming for Emporia FC on their own side of the field. Nice header. Goes to Hanel. Hanel turns it over at midfield. Now a little collision. Down goes Kema. Again, bodies banging around there towards midfield. Ball sent back towards the Emporia goal. Easily scooped up by David Ferraro. Ferraro surveying the land as we approach minute number 42. To be honest, these last 40-plus minutes have flown by here. As Ferraro sends it sky high to the opposite side of the field. Bodies collide, but Emporia comes up with it. Hanel has Alador to the left. He's got 3 bodies on him, and he just can't get the pass free.
Credit the Fountain defense. They kind of had those lanes clogged up. That's a handball.
You are correct there. As for the handball, it doesn't appear the official saw it the same way, so it will continue, though I agree with you, my partner. I got your back, buddy. Fountain City will send it back towards the Emporia goal. Nobody's going to come up to try and challenge for it yet again, as Nakano will easily field it and have some time to chart his path forward. Back and forth passing here between Emporia. Ferraro gets it back in the goal. He'll start to move it back up. Goes to Fukudomi. Now the long ball goes off the shoulder of Takahashi. Takahashi had it for a minute. It was taken away. Trying to regain it in front of his own bench now.
Well, he
Sends it
stayed
up.
with that awful good hustle move there.
I mentioned he's a speed demon. He has it right side. Chips it up towards the top of the box, and there's just nobody there. It went right over the head of Hanel. Now challenging for it was Kaspersky, and he wins that challenge. It was last touched by Fountain City. Throw in quickly leads to more passes from left to right for Emporia, looking for an opening up that midsection. Kaspersky has it, goes around the defenders. Tried to skip it to Takahashi on the right side. It goes right back to Hanel, who fired a laser beam that was just slightly miscalculated.
You know, they had a good little series of passes going on right there. Maybe a little premature, and he was a pretty long ways away, 25, 30 yards out. Maybe should have.
He's trying to do it. I think he's trying to do what Fabi Kaspersky did earlier,
that's right.
Where in the second minute he only missed it from 21 yards out by about 2 inches.
Right.
Thought, well, if Fabi can do it, I can do it. I've been informed we'll have 3 minutes of added time as we are into the 44th minute of this first half, even at 2. Both teams have had their time with the lead. For Fountain City, it came in the 4th minute with the goal from Alessandro Rubio, the captain. Emporia would draw even in the 13th minute, so just about 11 minutes later, with a goal by the speed demon from Japan, Kanata Takahashi. Then Patrick Alador, the kicker from Turks and Caicos, managed to put Emporia out front with a power goal of his own, and then Rubio would answer back in the 33rd minute, tying it up for Fountain City. Fountain City deep in their own zone, going up towards midfield. It goes from Rubio. Now work to Kema, who keeps it just barely in play as we have eclipsed minute 45. So again, 3 added minutes here.
Oh, man.
Reverse pass goes to Kema.
What a save.
Fires it. Good save, as you heard there from our color commentator Corey Mitchell by David Ferraro, but it wasn't necessary as the flag was up before he ever even struck it. Good job by the official.
It was a really creative pass, heel kick to be able to get that ball, flick heel kick to get that ball through, and everything was a good play. He was offsides, but I didn't even see it. It happened so fast.
Well, both teams thus far are tiptoeing on that line between courageous and crazy. We've seen David do that a couple times. He's come out and been challenged pretty heavily, almost giving up some easy goals. And then on the opposite side, Fountain City has just given Emporia a lot of room to operate with those long balls, as fighting for it there was Fountain City's Caleb Fannin. Emporia recovers. Alador sends it up towards midfield, and Takahashi took a knee.
Slipped.
Well, it did drizzle just a little bit before tonight's contest. I was wondering if that would be a factor. That might have been the case there. Turf fields are not impervious to conditions. Another long ball down the right seam. Takahashi streaking down there, fires a shot. It's saved by Ennis, and just ahead of the play on the left side was Kaspersky, but he could have had an opportunity to pick up the loose ball and fire it in. Unfortunately, Kaspersky was just 2 steps ahead of the ball. Alador switches from left side to right side, but there's nobody but Fountain City there yet again. Now into minute 47, the second of our 3 added minutes.
Man.
Fountain City on the attack. Ball just gets ahead of Fannin.
Emporia got really lucky right there on some just a poor pass and then weird defense. Got to clean that up, because that's how the first goal was scored by Fountain City, was something similar to that. Those mental errors cannot happen in the second half, because Emporia can absolutely win this game.
I believe that was Henry Gonzalez who helped force the stop against Fannin. But you are absolutely right. As I mentioned, both teams are kind of tiptoeing that line that could cost them this contest. Kema from right to left. Coming out again to scoop it up is Ferraro. 10 seconds remaining in
Go.
the added time.
Here we go.
Ball pushed up middle of the field and immediately sent back the opposite direction by Ennis, headed back towards midfield by Emporia FC, and the official will blow the whistle for the end of the first half right on time at minute 48. At the end of one, it's 2-all Emporia FC and Fountain City here in the UPSL. We're going to go ahead and step aside for a short break, collect our thoughts, maybe use the facilities for a moment, and we will be right back here with our halftime coverage. You're watching Emporia FC Soccer on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. Back inside the Lions' den, Tega Terhune joined by Corey Mitchell as we are at halftime of our contest between Emporia FC and Fountain City, as it is even matchup in more ways than one. Both teams with their scoring opportunities, both teams have capitalized on more than one, but both teams also having their struggles on their respective sides of the field. Corey, we were talking about it at right when the halftime break came around, I should say. One of the things we had mentioned to each other is the teams are making some mistakes, but they're completely different in their mistakes. One is Emporia SC giving Fountain City maybe not enough space to operate at times, and it's costing them a little bit because they're getting too close and it's costing them possessions. Whereas Fountain City, it seems like, are giving Emporia way too much space. You got to think if maybe they collapsed on top of Emporia in their own zone a few more times early on in this contest, they might be leading it 2-0.
Yeah, and you really hit it right, and that is Emporia has dominated time of possession of this game,
Yeah.
dominated it, right? But the opportunities that Fountain City has had, they've capitalized on, but they're getting really good opportunity when they get the ball in their zone. They're making runs. They're getting too many shots that they shouldn't be getting. This is really about Emporia's defense right now and a way to control that zone. The goalkeepers touched the ball for Emporia way too many times. It shouldn't be happening like that. This is a little bit of more defense by Emporia, and they're winning this game. They will win this game if their defense is better in the second half.
Well, let's talk about the goalkeepers on both sides. Of course, our very own David Ferraro for Emporia FC, one of the returners for the squad this season, struggled a little bit early on, but I think that we talked about that on the first goal. It wasn't necessarily that he didn't get there in time so much as I think he was only a half step behind because he couldn't see the play. He had his defenders in front of him trying to stop the possession, and unfortunately, it looked like it obscured his vision a little bit. He just wasn't able to get the jump at the right time. And so he may have been slightly behind it, but I don't think that was really the deciding factor. I think it was the fact he couldn't really see the ball coming until it was too late.
Yeah, he's actually done a good job between the pipes tonight because he stopped balls that he should have stopped. He's also made some really good plays as well.
Yeah.
The two were just one was like you said, he was shielded from the ball until it was too late. The other one was just flat blistered at close range, and it was a really well struck ball, in really close quarters. I don't. There were no humans that would have stopped that ball.
Well,
with the way
they
it was
did.
done.
It probably would have still gone in. They might have gone with it. As you mentioned, it was a scorcher of a shot. Let's talk about Harrison Ennis on the opposite side for Fountain City, as he himself has put his body on the line a couple times, making some diving saves. He's absolutely robbed Emporia more than once, but at the same time, he's found himself out of position more than once.
Yeah, he's played really aggressive, is what we've seen tonight. He's been aggressive even when he's between the pipes or to come out. And as Emporia they have tried to capitalize on those seams in the center of the field or go over the top, but more importantly, the seams is what they've found. They've worked good. The coaches have found something on tape that says let's work the center of these field and these seams, and that's what they've done. But he's been aggressive to come out and try to shut those down before they get started. Because if you look, one of Emporia's goals was directly related to one of those little passes up the seam with good pace.
Well, you talk about the passing, and we've talked about that quite frequently as well here in the broadcast so far. Want to go back to the goal by Patrick Aludor. That was just set up by a fantastic passing pattern by Emporia FC. It kind of looked like a bit of a broken play, but Kanata Takahashi, I think, was supposed to take the shot from the right side of the box and instead saw something that he didn't think it'd get through. So instead, he just chip shotted it a little bit there to Patrick Aludor, who had to settle it for a minute. But the minute he did, he lets loose a rocket of his own, goes right past Ennis. But then the goal by Takahashi was also off of a great pass that came right up the center. And let's not forget, there's been a couple of missed shots that also came off of beautiful passing patterns by Emporia FC. Just a tic-tac-toe, as we would like to call it in the hockey world. One foot to another. I almost said one stick to another, but obviously they don't have those out there tonight. But, it was just one foot to the other foot to the other foot. Bang, Bob's your uncle, shot on goal.
Yeah, and that's, Coach Ibarra, he likes to control the ball, lots of passes, right? We know that the Emporia Football Club is going to be able to make good passes, and they can and they will. When that happens, a lot of really good things happen, and they happen really fast.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to the Black Lions. I think a big thing, though, is they've also found themselves maybe just a little too far ahead of the play at times. Alidor has had some opportunities to head one down and maybe set something up from that left side. Unfortunately, it's either just been a little bit too far ahead of him that he couldn't catch up, or a little too far behind him. And unfortunately, it's been more the latter than the former, which is strange when you consider Alidor, along with Takahashi, one of the fastest members on this team.
Fastest guys on the team. You know what, though? I'd take the aggressive approach over any other way. And if they keep being aggressive, good things are going to happen.
Yes.
If this defense shores up in the second half, I'm telling you right now, they're going to win this game.
Emporia FC will have it to start the second half. And again, we want to come back to a big talking point, and that is the implications of the contest, as Fountain City is sitting just ahead of Emporia FC in the standings, sitting in fourth place. Emporia currently in fifth place. We're in third place 2 weeks ago, but 2 straight losses over the last week. The first coming to TKU, a 1-0 loss over a week ago, followed by a loss to us 2-0, as Fountain City immediately takes the possession and they'll give it right back to Emporia. So again,
there it is.
He
just pushed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's as blatant as you could possibly get, as we've kind of been calling for it in the first half, as there seemed to be a lot of contact made that wasn't whistled. That one, blatant as all get out by Kelvin Osei.
Borderline possibility of being booked on that.
Yeah. He might have made the argument he was trying to stop his momentum, but yeah, I don't know many people that would pay a top dollar to buy that. Kaspersky gets it into the box to Takahashi. Takahashi has to send it back up to the top as he was covered by 2 men. Emporia still in the box. Bernardo Hanal takes a shot on goal and diving for the save. Read perfectly by Ennis.
Pretty good look right there. He kept it low, is what he wanted to do. Didn't get a lot of heat on it. Look at that. Good D right there.
Great job there by Emporia to keep it deep in the Fountain City side of the field. It'll go off the foot of Fountain City and be a throw in here for Emporia, again, still deep in Fountain City territory. A short throw goes right back to the thrower in the form of Jeremy Cabanis. And he was trying, I think, to cross it from right to left. Got deflected, and Mauricio Kaspersky was trying to track it down, but he can't. Ballboy was in the middle of a seemingly very important conversation, as it took a few people to get his attention, but good job. He gets it in there for the goal kick here for Fountain City. It happens. Into the second minute of this second half, 47th minute overall. Still even at 2 between these two teams that are fighting for position in the standings. Of course, Emporia currently sitting in 5th place. Mountain City staring down right above them in 4th. Top 6 teams will go to the playoffs next month.
Great ball.
Fantastic ball on the foot of Kaspersky. Nice pass to now another extra pass, and this time the crisp passing might have been the detriment for Emporia FC, as that one it's taken away and cleared out by Fountain City. David Ferraro will play it out to Alidor. Now Emporia in their own zone. Intercepted by Fountain City. Fountain City coming out with that same level of speed we saw in the first half. We'll see if they could maintain it. It didn't appear they could in that first, as Calvin Noost gets it into the right corner. Osei leaves it at the top to Fannin, who just bangs it past Ferraro. And that time, I just don't think Ferraro was anticipating it. Caleb Fannin, the midfielder, takes the lead back here for Fountain City. Fannin has been knocking on the doorstep all night long, finally gets it to go, and this is reminiscent of what we saw in the first half. Fountain City comes out with an early goal. They had the first one in the 4th minute of play of the first half. Now they get it in the 3rd minute of the second.
Real simple now for Emporia. The rest of the They're going to have to push hard, control the ball, make sure opportunities like that don't happen or contain those opportunities. Fountain City, because that goal shouldn't have happened. We were talking about at halftime about defense has to play a little bit. Too easy of a shot.
Long ball goes down into the Fountain City side, and the flag goes up just a few seconds later. So offsides, and Fountain City wasting no time getting back on the attack, pushing up towards midfield. Osei switches from right to left, and he was just slightly ahead of his teammate who catches up to it. Kema will, not sure if that was the intention, send it out of play, but does nonetheless. Emporia with possession at midfield. Arroyo goes to Alador. Alador will send it down to Takahashi. Great job off the chest, but again, bit of a mismatch. He had 2 men on him and nobody around him. He sends it to Kaspersky. Kaspersky, some fancy dancing with the ball.
Great ball.
Great ball to the left side. Goes off the shin of Ennis and right up into his hands.
Really good passing, really good footwork in tight space. Hard to do that kind of stuff.
You're absolutely right. And I want to give Kaspersky some credit. Some fantastic dribbling there to keep that opportunity alive. Unfortunately, that ball just didn't have enough elevation.
You know, Alador had a pretty good first half, and they pushed him back to defense here in the second half.
Well, no, actually, he has been playing defender for most of the season. So they actually, I think, switched him up.
Halftime?
No, I think they switched him up to start. They started pushing him up towards the front line, but he's been playing both sides of the ball throughout the season. We saw that in the season opener.
Right.
Against Dodge City, where he was listed as a striker, but he was playing 2 ways, and well, that's kind of been really the theme of his whole season. Alador, nice long ball down the stretch, trying to catch up to it was Takahashi, but there to meet it was Kenna. Ball taken back at midfield by Emporia FC. They've got 3 men streaking down. Takahashi might have been caught off sides if he had touched that ball. As Emporia again trying to battle for it back, still on the Fountain City side of the field. Arroyo on the far seam. Couldn't tell if he got maybe tripped up a little bit or if he just dug his foot into the ground, but nonetheless, he lost his step, which cost him the possession. Emporia now another push. Takahashi, nice juke right around the attempted tackle by Caleb Fannin. Long ball down the other way, shot on goal. It goes in, but not before the offside whistle against Bernardo Hanel.
He was a little offside. He was offsides.
Yeah.
You either are or you aren't, and he was.
Can't argue it. I just need Ted Lasso here saying, explain to me how that's offsides. No, seriously, I don't get it. Emporia FC with the substitution.
Coming off the feet.
Yes, he is. Surprise move. Coming in for Emporia FC is Everson Rabim, the forward. What he can add here, and I'm going to tell you right now, Alador coming out very early in the second half. I guarantee you he is not going to be a happy camper as he plops down hard on the end of the bench over there on the far side. Action will continue without him here as Emporia had it across midfield. It's taken away by Kema, who gets tripped up by Kusuke Fukadomi. And Kema, a little slow to get up here, as it looked like Kusuke was trying to kind of sweep the ball. He ended up pulling a Johnny Lawrence and sweeping the leg. Thank you, Sensei. Anybody watching at home that doesn't get that reference, we cannot be friends. I appreciate my broadcast partner giggling on that one. That means he and I can remain friends. Ball gets played back to Ennis, who comes way out of his box. He'll skyrocket it down the other side, headed away by Kaspersky. It goes to the touch of Takahashi, and he'll play it back to his back line. Hurry up. Trying to push their way back up. A little collision. Doesn't lose the possession. Bernardo Hanel. Long ball.
Good
Set
ball.
in. Takahashi. He's in a foot race, and he will win it, but unfortunately, the ball was behind him. The good news, however, is Fountain City sends it out of play, so a crucial throw in here for Emporia. Javier Garrido coming in for Emporia FC. And it looks like will be, I'm trying to see who he's subbing out. I think that might be Fabio Arroyo. Yep, that will be Fabian Arroyo. Will take a seat. And again, Coach Victor Ibarra, only 10 minutes into the second half, making some quick substitutions, and we're going to get our first yellow card of the contest, and it'll go against the Black Lions. I believe that's going to be on Fabi Kaspersky. Worth mentioning that on Sunday's contest in the League for Clubs, nearly 10 cards in total were handed out, 2 red cards, 7 yellow cards, and 5 of those went against Emporia.
11 extra minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah, that usually will do that. Fountain City with the possession out of the stoppage for the yellow card against Fabi Kaspersky. And they get it sent back towards their own goal. Ennis will handle it. And they'll send it out of play. So a little bit of a miscommunication.
Tell you what, Emporia needs to capitalize on some of these. Fountain City hasn't been floppy the whole game. They have been here the last minutes. They need to figure out a way to make something happen.
Cross into the box, gets headed away by Fountain City. An opportunity for Hanel. Hanel skips it into the middle. Shot on goal, and it's saved by Ennis.
That was a really, really good save.
Yeah, you can't hate on that. That's just skill right there. Slid right in, read the ball perfectly. Stayed in front of it the whole time. So, wish he was wearing a Black Lions badge, but hey, hats off to him. Doing what goalkeepers are meant to do.
We also saw some really good passes, small spaces again.
You say small spaces, I say minuscule. Those were almost microscopic. Ball gets put out of play yet again by Fountain City. Another throw in for Emporia. Kaspersky throws it up towards midfield to Arroyo. Thought Arroyo had subbed out. Try and get to the bottom of that one. Arroyo dancing with it slightly. Nice move to get around Theo. Now, Hanel gets cut off just past midfield. He still gets the pass off to the left seam. Emporia showing off a lot of fancy footwork here, but now they finally break through. Goes to Hanel, and Hanel was trying to feed it to Rabim. Rabim gets it back, and a shot on goal goes way over the top. No save or heroics needed there by Ennis.
We have seen some really good passes.
And I know you are a tactical fan, so when you see Chris passing, nothing makes you happier.
And that's right. And also that shows you that we talked about it a little bit in the first half. They looked a little out of sync. They were just off here and there. Now we're starting to see them like they're communicating a little better, or they know where their teammates going to be or supposed to be. I mean, those are good, positive signs.
Ocean Comfort, the midfielder, subs in now for Fountain City as Ennis sends a long ball up across midfield. It goes off the back of the head of Rubio. We've got an odd man situation as David Ferraro has to come out to play it. It's just mishandling it there in the backfield was Emporia.
That was
they got bailed out.
A really big time mental mistake right there.
I believe that was Fannin with the play on the ball for Fountain City, and he was just had a bit of a stutter step. If he hadn't have broken his stride, that's probably a one-on-one situation with Ferraro. And quite frankly, I love David, but he struggled in one-on-one situations here tonight. Arroyo will have the free kick after there was some contact made that sent Rubim to the ground. Emporia FC trying to get in position, but everyone's got a man right now, so he'll just switch it from right to left. Emporia being trailed right now. Another slip up here for the Black Lions. That's Arroyo. Now we're getting some heavy shoulder throws. Actually, Garrido, my apologies, for Emporia, as he was banging shoulders with Fountain City's Calvin Noost. Little feng shui up here in the box for a moment. We get we get set for the start of action again. Chip shot pass on the foot of Fannin. Fannin trying to dribble around the Emporia defender, looking for a man, and he'll just pass it back up to the top of the box. Pass almost intercepted by Kaspersky. Maintained by Fountain City. Throwing him off the ball there was Jeremy Cabanis. Says the French aren't willing to go to war. Great ball to the right side of the field, just slightly ahead of Kanata Takahashi. That would have been a golden opportunity from the right seam if he could have just caught up to it. But let me be very clear. If Takahashi can't catch the ball, it's an uncatchable ball, for lack of a better term.
It was a good idea, good pass, creative, an opportunity.
One-on-one situation, too. Into the 61st minute of play, as Emporia trailing 3-2. They had the lead for the majority of the first half after giving up an early lead in the 4th minute of play. Then Captain Alessandro Rubio would score in the 33rd minute to even it up. Adding to the tally would be Caleb Fannin in the 48th minute. Put Fountain City back out in front. Fannin, long ball in.
Right there.
Man in the box, gets tripped up, and it still squeaks past Ferraro. Jubilation shown out of Fountain City. And a look of defeat on the faces of the Black Lions, as that was a one-on-one situation. Shooter gets dragged down and somehow still manages to squeak it past Ferraro. I think Ferraro thought that was going to be an easy scoop up and wasn't prepared to make the save due to the collision in the box.
Been 18 minutes of play here in the second half. Fountain City scored twice. They've probably had possession of the ball for about 4 minutes, and these two opportunities where there's been some level of a defensive breakdown, and we almost saw another spot where that could have happened. Something on defense has to change.
Goal by Gibson Hankey. Now makes the climb back to the lead a little more challenging for Emporia, as they were just down by 1, now down by 2. And it looks like the aggression is starting to ramp up here for Fountain City, as they know they've got the momentum. They're going to keep pushing up, and they are, as Arroyo able to take away the long ball opportunity for Fountain City. Trying to catch up to it was Ocean Comfort. Arroyo said, no, no, no. They get it to midfield, sent over to Takahashi. Kanata gets challenged by Fannin. Fannin will just take it right from him. Long ball up the way, streaking down, trying to catch up to it. And coming out to slide it away is David Ferraro. And I give David a lot of credit there. A few times, again, he's been caught out of position. He's still playing aggressively. He's not backing up or getting on his heels whatsoever.
Good, smart play. Get out in front of it.
Fannin was going to throw it in. Instead, coming in to take the throw in will be Hankey, who had the goal just 2 minutes ago that gave Fountain City this 2-goal lead. Still a lot of time to be played, a little less than 30 minutes, but Fountain City's got to feel pretty good with how they're collapsing on top of the Emporia defense, or offense, I should say, as now Bernardo Hanel pushing the charge up the way. He's got 2 to the left, 1 to the right. He sends it to the left, and it's taken away by Fountain City yet again. Emporia had some, as we mentioned it earlier, very crisp, clean passing, but it's gone out the window here in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
It does, and maybe they're starting to feel that, hey, we've got to make something happen quickly because we are down a goal or two. And
Arroyo on the left side, sent it up, and we get a scramble for the ball and a foul against Emporia. I believe they're going to whistle that against Bernardo Hanel, as Hanel even gestured to himself and said, "Me, really?"
Wasn't a lot of contact there.
No. And we have seen a lot of contact that didn't result in any kind of whistle earlier in this contest. I promise, last time I'll bring it up. 4-2, the lead here for Fountain City over Emporia FC. Second lead of the ball game for Fountain City after they led 1-0 in the 4th minute. And we basically get a football-style tackle down on the far seam and an Emporia FC player on his knee in pain. Trying to read the number. I need to invest in binoculars. Or better eyeglasses. I don't know, Javen, what do you? Either or. Okay. Thank you so much. That was very helpful. Of course, I want to say a big thank you to our entire production team helping us bring you this contest on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. Of course, our technical director, Javen Arndt, passionate Jayhawk, finished his first year at college earlier this year, so congrats to him. Of course, running the camera, we have the one and only Ashley Rios, so always happy to have her on board. Tegan Terhune, Corey Mitchell up here in the boxes. The downed player for Emporia being tended to, it looks like that is Vittorio Bellesi, as he's getting some assistance off the field. He looks to be walking under his own power for the most part, but still has someone on his side there, so hopefully we can get an update on him before we shut down the broadcast tonight. Utah Hester into the lineup for Emporia FC. We saw him on Sunday in the League for Clubs. It was a pretty strong force down low for Emporia. I think Coach Ibarra was wanting to give him a little bit of a rest because he did go out of that contest with some lower back injury. And speaking as somebody who's had some lower back problems before, when you start to feel that pain right near your hips and everything like that, everything just kind of locks up and shuts down. So they took him out to preserve him. So we'll see how he's feeling here as we get back underway with the free kick for Fountain City that goes from one side of the field to the other and straight out of play. Emporia FC with the throw in. Cabanis leaves it to Takahashi. Goes back to Cabanis now. My apologies. That's Kaspersky. Long ball sent down the way to Arroyo. Arroyo gets tripped up, getting it over to Hanel. Hanel threw it, that time to Cabanis. Now to Kaspersky. Kaspersky streaking down, was trying to find, was trying to find Takahashi in the center, and the ball gets deflected right off the bean of Caleb Fannin. His own teammate just knocked him right in the nose. And now, breakaway opportunity here for Fountain City. Chips it right past Ferraro and into the twine.
Boy, the defense really in that back half of for Emporia just seems out of sync. Just doesn't seem comfortable. I don't think Fountain City's doing anything special, but they just seem to be finding ways, finding openings, finding opportunities.
Fountain City skips it right past Ferraro, and I'll be honest, at 5-2, this is the largest deficit I've ever seen David Ferraro let into his goal. Got to wonder what it's doing maybe with his head right now. I mean, he's still playing his style. He's playing very aggressive, but we mentioned going up by 2 goals can be deflating. Now up by 3, but I will go back to last season, your first broadcast with me in the UPSL playoffs. Emporia found themselves down very significantly. I believe it was
5-2,
5-2. And they did come back and score 2 quick goals. Unfortunately, we're not able to overcome the deficit, but we know Emporia FC has the ability to strike quickly. They just have not been able to cleanly set up an attack in their offensive zone. Long ball sent down. Takahashi in front of the defenders, and he gets literally held up.
Remarkable footwork.
Gets around. Great footwork, as Corey mentioned there. Switches from right to left. Unfortunately, the ball too far ahead of the intended recipient. So Emporia going to have to regroup here up towards midfield. 69th minute of play underway, approaching minute number 70. Almost said 6-10. Great ball. Shot by Takahashi. Saved by Ennis.
They've had so many good passes in front of that box to not be able to score, and that was a really good save by the goalie.
I'll only contradict slightly when I say I think that's the best passing they've had in the last 10 minutes. They have struggled a little bit here in the later stages of this second half, but you are absolutely right. We've seen that crisp passing throughout the evening. Corner kick here from Emporia FC, headed towards the goal, but goes wide and out of play. So a goal kick here for Fountain City, who are leading things commandingly 5-2 with 70 minutes gone. Again, we can't overstate the importance of this contest. As we've mentioned, these two teams neck and neck in the UPSL standings, both with 6 points, but due to the goal deficit, Fountain City standing above Emporia FC in 4th place. Of course, Emporia in 5th. They were in the top 3 just about a week and a half ago. 2 straight losses took them out of that as we get a massive collision going up for the ball on the far seam, and that will go the way of Fountain City. We use the term in American football 50-50 ball. I feel like that was the case right here. I'm not really sure how you can call that on either side.
Yeah, there were 2 guys going up for try to get head on the ball, and it really did seem
incidental.
Incidental, or both guys, like you said, going for ball.
David Ferraro will hop up to handle the ball off the long shot there from Fountain City and roll it out back line. Fukudomi pauses briefly, pauses again, and then switches to the left side. And that time, as you mentioned, Corey, the synchronicity of Emporia FC's back line seems to be almost non-existent here in this second half. They were doing very well in the first, a few miscues here and there, but just cannot seem to find each other right
now. At halftime, I said if their defense plays well, they can win the game in the second half, and it hasn't happened. It's actually the last 15 minutes or so has been very uninspiring now for them.
18 minutes remain in regulation. Emporia is going to mount a comeback. They got to start here as Fannin trips up on the interception of the ball. Emporia recovers. Hanel drops it back to Arroyo. Arroyo left side now to Rabim. Rabim will turn it over. They'll go right back to Emporia FC just across midfield on their own side. Trying to push it back up, and a lot of hand-holding, quite literally, by Fountain City has yet to draw a whistle from the head official. It seems like every time Emporia starts to make a play on the ball, there is somebody doing their best version of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grabbing a wrist lock and trying to pull them back.
Fountain City, every player down under the defensive end of this zone, except for one person. So they have really packed in on it when Emporia had the ball. They're trying to.
Emporia commits the foul. Fountain City gets the free kick. Emporia will take it right back off an aggressive challenge by the Black Lion. Finding the seams to get through, and right there, they had some great passing again, splitting defenders, and then they just couldn't find each other. And now it seems like the lack of synchronicity on the back line is finding its way up to the front.
I actually think it has more to do with the defense that Fountain City's doing. They're really packing black jerseys down in there in front of that box right now when Emporia has the ball.
Fair point.
They are really packing them in.
Almost like sardines. We are into minute number 74. Emporia trying to push it up. And again, that packed-in defense stymies them once more. And you know what? To your point, Corey, it could look like they're out of sync simply because they just can't find an avenue to exploit, because every time they get one pass through, here comes two more black jerseys to close up the lane. Another foul against Emporia, and this is not going the way the Black Lions had hoped. We are nearly out of minute 74 and into minute 75 of what has been a all. Oh, water bottle got
Cramping situation.
tossed
Trying to get
field.
water out to the.
I looked down for a minute to check my notes. I just saw a water bottle fly on the field. I thought someone threw one at him, so my apologies there. But no, as I was saying, it's really been all Fountain City this second half. I mean, since the get-go in the second minute of the second half, minute number 48 overall, where Caleb Fannin just banged one past Ferraro. Two more goals would follow, almost similar. Ferraro's just kind of been getting beat in those one-on-one situations. It has not altered his style of play, though, which is good to see. Sticking to it. Fortunately, Emporia has dug themselves into a bit of a hole here, as we do have the stoppage in play for the cramping situation. As we've mentioned throughout the contest, it is not your traditional hot May evening in Emporia, Kansas at this time, but the humidity does play quite the factor.
I think Fountain City has had 4 shots on goal this half, and 3 of them have found the back of the net.
You are correct. Look at the unofficial stats that we've been. 3 shots on goal have gone in. 4 shots have been taken overall. Jose Corveo for Emporia FC. As again, Coach Victor Ibarra made some quick substitutions in the early portion of this second half. I'll be curious to ask him in our post-game coverage on Emporia FC's official Facebook page after this contest is done, maybe what the reasoning was there. But it seems like maybe taking Alador out of the equation might have lost a little extra speed on the wing here for him.
And the veteran presence too, right?
Very true.
You know, he's done this before. He's been here before. That matters to it.
Well, I go back to our first broadcast together in the playoffs last season. Alador was the one that got Emporia on the board. And again, I talk about his style of play. It's very aggressive. And sometimes that can be good, sometimes it can be bad, but it's effective.
Yeah. And it's how he plays, right?
Absolutely.
He's at his best when it's like that.
Almost a rainbow free kick as it just arched perfectly towards the goal. It's headed away by Emporia FC. And we'll get a foul against Fountain City that gives Emporia the free kick. It'll be short. Emporia again trying to push it up, open up that midfield. Nice save off the toe by Kaspersky, but again, trying the long ball with nobody there. And Ennis will come out to field it for Fountain City, and he's going to take all the time he feels like. As we get another stoppage here. We've got a man down on the Emporia side. That looks to be, I think that's Kosuke Fukudomi. Looks to be in a lot of pain. He's doubled over on the field. And they're calling for a trainer. That is not a good sign. No, my correction. That's Utah Hester. I knew it as soon as he started reaching for that lower back. That's Hester. Oh, that is not good. Nope. My broadcast colleague corrected me again. I was right the first time. It is Kosuke Fukudomi. So now he's got some lower back issues. He keeps gesturing to that lower side. Again, we got to invest in a pair of binoculars. Well, whatever the issue was, it looks like Fukudome is walking it off here.
Trainer had the magic touch. He came over and
Helped him right up.
helped him right up.
It looks like that's going to be the evening for Fukudome as he's being subbed out by Joku Jankowskis. Jankowskis, a pretty solid presence at midfield and at times on the front line for Emporia FC, as he's actually subbed in a few times in the League for Clubs contest. He came in to relieve Carlitos Noboa when he went down with an injury a few weeks back and had a solid game. But what I love most about Joku is he's never satisfied. He could have a hat trick, 12 assists, and win the game 100-0, and he would still find something wrong with his performance. And you got to love that in a guy who's always looking to improve.
Plays hard.
Yes, he does. Right there already going up for the ball is Hanel. Backing him up there was Jankowskis. Another header there by Emporia FC going up over the top of the bodies of Fountain City, and we get a whistle against Fountain City. Not quite sure what the reasoning for that was, as it did look like the only contact that was generated was by Emporia, who's starting to turn up the aggression a little bit. Emporia again trying to get past the defenders with a long ball. It gets intercepted once more by Fountain City. Now taking a page out of Emporia's book, trying to exploit the right seam.
Right.
10 minutes remaining in regulation as we are into minute number 80. Emporia has not found the back of the goal here in this second half. Fortunately, Fountain City's hit the hat trick with 3. We're even at 2 coming into this one, and Fountain City just kind of wrestled the momentum away. Jankowskis gets it to Takahashi. Now to Rubim. Rubim almost turned it over. Safe route goes to the left side to Arroyo. Now on the left seam for Emporia FC. Into a foot race. Fighting for it. Nice cross in the box. Immediately headed away by Fountain City. Still kept near the box here by Emporia. And they're going to have to move it back up towards midfield as Jankowskis now gets held and thrown. And what more do you got to do for a whistle, Mr. Official? This is a soccer match, not MMA.
There certainly was a lot of hands grabbing, pushing.
Well, nonetheless, it doesn't shake Emporia FC. They maintain the possession. Now have it on the near boundary, right down in front of us. Jankowskis fighting to get free. Again, almost gets held. He's got it. Trying to get around the defenders. And once again, the sardine can packed up tight. Stops the momentum momentarily. But Emporia finally gets a whistle off the contact and a free kick from a fair position about 19 yards out. Over 82 minutes gone now in the contest. Emporia needs something here as they trail it 5-2 off 3 goals in this half alone by Fountain City. Again, you would have preferred the comeback started with about 20 minutes remaining, but you work with what you got. A little less than 8 minutes of regulation time still ongoing. Probably going to have at least 4 to 5 minutes of added time. Again, we've seen Emporia FC in the past bang in goals in quick succession, about 30 seconds apart. They've got plenty of time if they can decide to do that here. Free kick coming, 3-man wall in front of it. Shot on goal, hits the wall. Bounces right back to the Black Lions. Arroyo has it near midfield, crosses it into the box, and Takahashi doesn't go for it. I think he knew that was not a playable ball. He was probably going to get the flag right behind him. As smart play by Fountain City. They kept just far ahead enough of Takahashi. There was no way he could go for it. Ball gets sent down the other way, bounce towards Ferraro, who snatches it out of the air. He's got 2 men around him. He'll roll it back out. Now at midfield with it, Emporia FC. Rubim dancing around 2 defenders. Ball gets caught up between the pairs of cleats. Bannon gets it back for Fountain City, and they're going to start streaking down that right seam yet again. Collision at midfield with Arroyo leads to a stoppage.
Got booked.
And a yellow. I'm not going to say that that wasn't a bookable collision, but at the same time, that's a red. They pull the red card on Arroyo for a simple collision at midfield. Sir! My goodness, that's
a very, after what we've seen tonight with contact that we've seen.
Terrible.
That's a quick red. Wow.
The only thing that I could say that might justify it is if Arroyo said something after the yellow. I could maybe understand that, but still, that seemed like a pretty weak contact for even the yellow card, as Corey mentioned, considering what we've seen so far tonight on both sides of the field. That's where you pull the card. That is mind-boggling, to say the least. Nonetheless, Fabio Arroyo will be sent off with the red card that came in the 84th minute. Fabi Kaspersky has the yellow card for Emporia FC that came in the 55th. So 2 bookings in this game. Both have come against Emporia, at least on the field. There was a third card, but it was really incidental, as it was for the bench for Fountain City. Nonetheless, Fountain City back on the attack, gets tripped up to Fannin, and another whistle. See if this one leads to another card. It looked like the legs just got tangled up there between Jose Carvalho and Caleb Fannin. Being told that Arroyo had already had a yellow card. So it was a double yellow. I do not recall seeing that first yellow card, but maybe I was looking down at my papers when it happened. I don't know. Nonetheless, it's still very debatable.
Yeah, again, was it something that there could have been booked if he had one? That's his second card. Ref has it on his little pocket. So.
I don't recall seeing the first
I don't remember it. You're right.
Nonetheless, it's too late to cry about it, as it's done and over with. There's still 4 minutes of regulation to go, plus whatever added time we'll have on that clock, as Ocean Comfort take the free kick for Fountain City with a 3-man wall right in front of him. All the other players shifting off to his right side.
Dangerous spot here.
Yeah. Just about 16 yards away from the goal. Run up, the shot. Nice deflection by the wall of Black Lions, who are again playing a man down after Fabio Arroyo was sent off. And
that's awfully aggressive.
Is extremely aggressive. Pushing and shoving by Kema does lead to a free kick from Emporia, but my goodness. Rubim trying to chase down the long ball sent from midfield. Can't get there in time. I'll tell you what, I've never looked more forward to a conversation with head coach Victor Ibarra than I'm looking forward to later here this evening at the conclusion of this contest on the Emporia FC Facebook page's official post-game conference. Love to hear his thoughts. Rubim tried to skip it through the defenders. Unfortunately, he went straight when he should have went right. Again, I think that you just have to chalk up to the defense there of Fountain City, who took away his vision. He couldn't clearly see Takahashi. A little pushing and shoving leads to a turnover for Emporia FC. Takahashi 1-on-2, trying to get around. Takes the shot. It bangs off the shin of Kema.
Corner kick.
And it will be, as it was last touched by Fountain City. And I will say this, Fountain City, as you've mentioned multiple times, Corey, doing a good job of packing players down there in the box. But one thing they're also doing is switching to pick up an already marked man. Saw that with Takahashi. He was already facing a 1-on-2 deficit. And then all of a sudden, here came a third Fountain City player to back up the two already in front. As here comes the corner into the box, headed towards the goal, headed away.
There it is.
And we've got a man down in the box. That should be a penalty shot. It's a yellow card, finally, for Fountain City. And I believe that's going to go against Kema.
That's right, and he just had the aggressive play. There was nothing called on, and so now they got him in the box here.
Now we have the penalty opportunity here for Emporia FC, but it may be too little too late as we are into the 89th minute of play. And don't take anything away from Harrison Ennis, the keeper for Fountain City. He's had a spectacular night in goal. Be interesting to see how this goes.
Certainly being aggressive right now with what he's doing and trying to really dictate the moment.
Takahashi will take
some theatrics.
Takahashi will take the penalty shot for Emporia. He got one on the season already. Here's the run up, slow approach, fires it, right side, goal! Kanata Takahashi!
Had to have that right there, had to.
Well, you're able to make it happen. That is Takahashi's second of the game. In the 89th minute, still waiting on word of how much added time we will have here as Emporia FC cuts the deficit now from
something's going on here.
3-2, or at least it appeared that way. As Ennis talking with the official. Are they going to make him redo it? Well, what's the reasoning? Looking for an explanation on this one. I don't understand.
Maybe somebody went in, maybe someone crossed the line and got into the box too quick.
Explain why he's over there talking to the opposite sides there. Nonetheless, Takahashi will try to repeat. Now, this might be better.
Second time's always harder.
This might be a little bit better for him. Fires it, goes the opposite side, and Takahashi does it again. 91st minute of play, a goal for Takahashi, his second of the contest, technically his third, as he did have the first one. Still don't have the explanation as to why he had to redo it, but I was going to say right before he took the shot, sometimes redoing it can be good because you get in the goalkeeper's head now, and they think you're going to go the same direction as the last time. Takahashi made it play out that way, as the first time he went right, scored on Ennis. Second time, Ennis went right, Takahashi went left.
Made them both look easy, I know that.
Yeah, Fountain City now just playing prevent defense. Just trying to push it up towards the Emporia FC side of the field. Emporia FC, a little renewed energy here that we haven't seen much in the late stages of the second half. Takahashi heads it towards Jankowskis. Great ball to Takahashi on the right side. It's a goal!
How much stoppage time do we have? Do we know yet?
Still have not been told. It won't matter there, though. Takahashi with the hat trick.
He blistered that ball right over the goalie's head.
Kanata Takahashi hears his name announced for the third time this contest. His second goal in the span of 60 seconds. And now, just like that, it's gone from a 3-goal deficit to a 1-goal differential. Fountain City leads it 5-4. They were leading it 5-2. And again, Fountain City into the prevent defense. They're just not trying to let Emporia anywhere near their goal. As Takahashi proved, Emporia can score in quick succession.
Said it earlier, they could score in about 30 seconds. Well,
they certainly did that. Another opportunity taken away by Fountain City. Now they're going to try and take it down the opposite seam. Into minute number 93 of this contest. Still have not heard officially how much added time we have. Emporia FC working the far seam, trying to get down. Again, they had exploited it earlier. Fountain City collapsing there as player gets knocked down twice. They're going to whistle the free kick for Fountain City, as I think the first one was definitely contact that forced him to the ground. The second time, he was aiming for an Oscar. Might give it to him. Coming up on minute number 94, the free kick coming for Fountain City, and coming up with his teammates out of his goal, and I mean way out of his goal, right near midfield, is Harrison Ennis. Referee signals for action to begin. Ennis will take the free kick. He'll send it right towards the Emporia FC goal. It goes off no heads. Tracked down by Emporia FC, deep in their own zone, and that's going to be the final whistle. And it's not going to lead to a very happy conversation at the end of this contest between the head official and Emporia FC's Ken Toms. Nonetheless, Emporia FC manages to erase nearly a 3-goal deficit. They go from 3 goals down to 1 goal down off of a brilliant performance by Kanata Takahashi, who had the hat trick in tonight's contest. Unfortunately, some early miscues in both halves put them in a bad position. But Corey, I mean, really,
this was about Emporia's defense. There were
Yeah.
breakdowns on the defense. They could have won this game. They probably should have won this game. There were some mental lapses on the defensive end of Emporia for Emporia's defense. That was the problem tonight. The offense wasn't a problem. We saw good passing. We saw some good goaltending. One-on-one with the defense breaks down. That's
Yeah.
the issue.
Well, and as I mentioned, David Ferraro lets in 5 goals, but a lot of those, there's just nothing he could have done on quite a few. There was maybe one he was out of position on, but Fountain City just kind of took it to Emporia very quickly. I had brought up earlier, can they maintain their momentum and their pace? Well, they didn't really have to after they scored the 5th goal. They just had to start being a little bit more preventative, and we saw that in the very final stages of the second half. Of course, maybe some arguments to be made about some of the contact here throughout the contest, as it did seem like referees letting them play a little bit here and there, but then some questionable calls that we'll just chalk up to that happens. But nonetheless, Emporia FC just a little flat there in the second half.
I'm going to be really interested to know what Coach Ibarra is going to say about this game and what he saw from his team.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of subs in the second half.
Yep.
It means the guys got to play. But again, to me, that defense really needs to be looked at a little bit on that defense and approach some things maybe a little differently going forward.
Emporia will not be moving up in the standings. Currently sitting in 5th place right behind the foe that just downed them in Fountain City. It'll be interesting to see if this drops them down into the bubble, which would be the 6th place spot, or if it will knock them out of playoff contention entirely. I mean, still games to be played, so still opportunities to be had here, but we'll see what happens. With that being said, we want to say thank you for tuning in to our coverage of Emporia FC soccer right here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. For my broadcast partner, Corey Mitchell, our technical director, Javen Arndt, our camera operator, Ashley Rios, and everybody here with the Emporia FC family, we thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time. Make sure you tune in to the Emporia FC official Facebook page for our post-game interview with head coach Victor Ibarra. With that said, from the Lions Den at Emporia Middle School, Tegan Charoon, Corey Mitchell signing off. Have a great night.